to welcome all of you, those that are connected with us for the first time, and those have supported us for a long time to enrich the academic program of philosophy family. I can see the faces of so many senior teachers, professors, and social activities on the screen. I welcome all of them. I can see the faces of Professor B. Pramod, uh, Srinivas Shah, Dr. Ghosh, Avinash Shah, and others. It is not possible to recite the names of all the senior teachers, those are present in today's academic program. Today we have a very beautiful session. Today our topic is philosophy of time management. And we have invited a very eminent educationist, social activist, and orator of our country, Mrs. Roma Wani. I offer my pranam to her. I welcome her to the philosophy family. You know, Mrs. Roma Wani has always been active humanitarian services. She has engaged herself throughout the time for social activities, for community service and nation building. She has rendered assistance to the victims of various disasters, not only in Jammu Kashmir, but in other states of our country. Her tireless efforts have helped us, the society, to develop better coordination with different national and international forums. So, her involvement in social service and nation building has amazed us, has inspired us. Her presence has motivated us, and her words will strengthen the academic activities of philosophy family. And today we are waiting her to listen to her amazing words, inspiring words. It is a today's topic is a very motivational topic. And with this, I also welcome Professor Pramod Kumar Das, the admin and host of philosophy family, who has taken the responsibility of connecting all of us together in this academic platform. I also welcome Dr. K. Omnan Rao, the regular moderator of philosophy family. He is with us. So with this, once again, I welcome all the viewers, all the educationists, all the social activities and professors to be with us in this Sunday webinar. I welcome all, and I now request Madam Roma to commence her speech on the philosophy of time management. Over to Madam Roma.
Namaskar, and a very good and a very pleasant evening to everyone who's with us today. If in a normal condition, if I were talking, and my topic was and is a philosophy of time management, I would definitely start with the definition of philosophy. But as I said earlier, all our members, have a complete knowledge of philosophy. As a matter of fact, I find myself in a quagmire, what am I going to talk about philosophy? Huh? But what through my life experience I have understood, philosophy is those internal emotions, our knowledge, our various experiences that finally create within us an attitude that gives us our punchlines to face our life. So excuse me if I don't go into the normal, talking about philosophy. But being a counselor myself, and we are all at a stage where we've dealt with the people of the community and the students in our various educational institutions and our friend circles. Normally, what happens suddenly, these are the few phrases that come to mind. Oh, life is so hectic these days, and there is a total chaos all around me. Or someone then says, I don't know how to handle my life. I don't know how to, take care of things. Whereas everyone seems to be expecting things from me all the time. Oh God, huh? I have no time. There is no time. How can I satisfy everybody? Surely, I'm sure all of us have heard these exclamations and murmurings all around us all the time. And are these not the very topics that debaters take for discussions all the time? Talking about our emotions and sentiments all the time. And does not it lead, all these things lead to a very, very heightened stress all the time? All the time, all the time, all the time. So, what is time? What is time? As per the Vedas, as we all know, and Professor Pramod, let me take the liberty. As per the Vedas, the universe itself goes through repeated cycles of creation, destruction, and rebirth. And the Vedas say that this particular cycle takes 43 lakh 20,000 years. For me, in relation to this universal cycle, time for me, that means, is from birth to death. But when I was born, each of us, when we were born, we breathed in, and we are told when we leave the world, this materialistic body, we breathe out. Therefore, the cycle reduces from birth to death to breathing in and breathing out. And therefore, between in and out is that just one moment in relation to the 43 lakh 20,000 years of the universe. But my time is just this moment between breathing in and breathing out. But of course, this cycle of mine, because I'm so forgetful, the cycle of my birth to death has been repeated many times in relation to the universe. However, as I said earlier, because I don't remember, therefore, it is limited to birth to death, and from inhaling to exhaling into the moment, and therefore, it is present. And the great philosophers of the world have said that the present moment is the presentism philosophy. But we cannot just, analyze and just come to a conclusion, because there is not just one thought process. There are so many processes. For example, if I say I'm existing moment to moment or life after life, that means from presentism, I'm already jumping into eternalism. So life is eternal, no? And therefore, time is also eternal. But this was only our discussion as per the Vedas, you know? And we could, of course, go ahead and talk about, if maybe Plato we talk later, we could talk about Aristotle to begin with, And what did Aristotle say? He defined time as the number of changes that take place with respect to before and after. Again, I see it as a moment, because anything that happens, for example, now, then that becomes my time, and time related to before this particular incident or this moment, or and after, as time moves on. So that is another way, looking at it the Aristotle way. And Plato defined time as a period that the heavenly bodies take to move. So was he talking about, when he talks about heavenly bodies, I wonder if he was talking about the sun and the moon and the stars. And so I come back again and again and again to how life moves on. A little girl who sits there and sees and is told that there is a sun god who comes riding on his chariot, and he comes in the morning and then he rides back in the evening. And with that fantasy, the child grows up and then suddenly goes to the school, and the child is taught, no, 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 the sun doesn't move at all. The sun is just stationary, and it is the planets which are going around. And not only are the planets going around the sun, but they also have their own axes, and they move in their orbits. Very confusing. So what should I do? And I wonder, and I think, just let me leave aside the Vedas and, let me progress further. And suddenly I find a very beautiful, a question like we are asking, what is time? I come to a very, very, very dear to me also. I love reading his Confessions, Saint Augustine. And Saint Augustine actually had the same question, He said, what is time? So what is time, he said. If you give me a moment, I had put it down. I'll just check. I'd put down his words because, yes, here it is. He says, he asked the same question like me. What then is time? And Saint Augustine says, if no one asks me, then I know what it is. If no one asks me, then I know. But if I wish to explain it to someone that asketh, I know not. And I really find myself not knowing what time is. But the after effects of the moments that pass by, they leave a mark. They leave a mark. And how much ever we try, I come back to the questions and the exclamations and the feelings and the stresses that we all go around with, and ask just one question. Was life meant to be like this? Was it supposed to be like this, full of questions? Like a bubble, Or was it supposed to be like calm, like the waters in a lake, And as one asks questions and delves deep down to find answers, there are fathoms and fathoms of thought processes. There are mysteries. There are also histories. People have written things. But we do not relate to histories unless we get only knowledge from it, and also relate our problems to what has been written before us. And we see that truly life is full of stresses. Life is definitely full of stresses. And what are the stresses? I mean, all kinds, all ages. Even a little child, a toy breaks and the child starts weeping. It is his stress. Maybe at our level as a parent, we may not feel it. Yeah. Young children these days, what with drug addictions and suicides and all that, what is it that's leading them there? Stresses. But why are the stresses? Huh? And one day, when I discussed this with Professor Pramodji, and he gave me this topic, I thought, why are these stresses coming to us? First, I thought I should not ask, because my personal belief is that if we let go and if we have this attitude of acceptance, you know, uh, accept things as they come, then life is very simple. But then when I questioned myself, I also thought, I said, even a knowledgeable person like Arjuna, you know, knowing his duties and knowing why they are there on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, even he asked questions. So why shouldn't I question and see what we can do? And as I dwelled in this, I realized that this time management, it's very foolish of us human beings to think that we are the people who are coming up with philosophies about time management, or we are coming out with ideas about how to manage time, or we are saying, because at the end of the day, all that we are doing is just playing with what is already existing, isn't it? And what is existing is already created by the creator. And he has already managed time. Had he not managed time, and he had let me, for example, say, okay, there is a sun god and riding on his chariot. Now, if God had not given him a particular time to ride, then we would not have day and night, no? Then we wouldn't have, and then there are other things influencing him. So we wouldn't have had 6 months of the days getting longer and 6 months of days getting shorter. Hmm? So when God himself has managed time, who are we not to manage time? And that, was that the bulb, the brain wave, the tip. Yes, it's because we don't manage our time that all the stresses start. Whereas God has given us an example. I mean, even if we look around at a tree, for example, the seed is already there, but the sapling will definitely not come. Even if whatever we may do, the soil is right, everything is right, the water is right, even the pesticides and the urea, whatever is right. But the seed would definitely not turn into a sapling unless comes springtime. And spring into summer, and summer into autumn, and autumn into December. So when there is time management in nature itself, is our life not being troubled because we are not following the rule that has been written for us? And how's time to be managed? Of course, he, the great Almighty who created the universe, not one, but who is the ruler of so many universes that we do not even know about. If he has, given time to everybody, and no one dare change, not like us. Even if we plan, today I'm going to sleep at 10 o'clock, but some movie comes on the television, or there is some debate or discussion or some news, I postpone my sleeping time. And that causes a health problem the next morning, because I will not get up in time. And even if I do get up in time, it's going to give me a health problem. And once I have my health problem, then I have the stress of going to the medical store or the doctor to get my medicines. So, time management. Now, because our life is so limited, for time management, we have to begin to, understand that life has many shades. So if I have to manage my life smoothly, what should I do to manage my time, to take away my stresses? Huh? So first thing would be to understand what is my goal. What is my aim in life? What am I hankering after? What am I going to attain? And I'm not talking just about my daily stresses. It's a lifetime stress. One wrong decision, and the stress lasts a lifetime, because there is the theory of before and after. So before this time, if I've done some mistake, somewhere 5 years down the line, after that, after this moment, I'm going to be reaping maybe, uh, uh, anyway, the harvest of whatever I've sown. So the most important point is to do the setting of the goals. And the goal would be what? Goal is, just excuse me, there's a little sound outside. Please, huh? So, excuse me. So, what one is going to do is to first talk about the goal. Once I fix my goal, my aim, then I have got to see what steps I'm going to take to it. And what are the steps I'm going to take? The plan that I'm going to make, it has to be a skeleton of very small, small steps. Even though my goal may be very high, what the mistake we make, we try to jump to our goals. So the stresses begin. So the main thing about, once the goal is clear, we would then plan very, very small steps. And while these steps are being planned, we must have our, what in modern time management is called POA, our plan of action, or our to-do lists. So we make that and we are ready. Now, once we are ready, then we have to relook at our list, and we have to go into an introspection. We have to see, what have I written? Are these things essential? I must not work on what I want, but I must work on what I need. Because I may want the whole world. When I look left and right, there are people who are more blessed than I am. So I'll want all those blessings. But if I introspect and look at what God has given me, I would feel so blessed with what I have. So introspection is very important at this time, and to be grateful for what I already have, and in that having what I need for my aim. That is going to be very, very important. And then, of course, there are many ways to deal with it, but because I, it's a rule with me that I would not, I may read and I may relate to whatever Google tells us, or a Wikipedia or other authors have said. I may talk about them, but I love it when I express through my own experiences, because I know that with that experience, I'm very sure of what I'm saying. Because if I quote and if I just follow, then it's like just following a beaten path, or sharing with all of you something hearsay or what I've read. So what I've seen in uh, my planning, even after I plan things, then you know, it's as a leader where I have to lead. Yes, one of the qualities is one has to delegate things, But in lifetime, when my plan of action is ready, I try to see what are the things that I can do myself, Because whatever my capability, if I do those things myself, then I'm sure, because I know my strengths, I know my weaknesses. So out of my list of things to do, I would definitely want to do first what I can do myself. And then what I cannot do, then I may request, may delegate. If it's someone who I can delegate to, I may delegate. But if it's a person senior to me or a person who may not listen to me, then I can request for assistance. And then also the other thing, when prioritizing, I always, like to say, I can do only one job out of these 2, 3 things that I can do. So what I do, I say, okay, now I can do all these 4 things, but are there any things which I can delay out of these 4? What is it that I must do immediately? So I then, okay, these 2 I can do in the evening, or maybe I can do tomorrow. Oh, no, this I can do next month. Okay, I have to procure this thing. Okay, fine, 6 months. But now immediately what I want to do, then I'll do that, So also, so after my goal is fixed, and, then I've done my writing work, and then I've done my introspection, then I've written down what I can do, and what I should do now, and what should I do later. But along with what I want, you know, I always think that if I keep wanting, needing, keep myself very important, then, I cannot be a part of my society, because society also expects so many things from us. I cannot be selfish. So I have to also relate my own needs vis-a-vis those of my family, then my neighborhood, then my community, then my society, and see that I am also living by those norms. Again, I think, am I right? And I say yes. Because even Krishna, he told Arjuna, listen, you're a Kshatriya. Don't think of anything else. Just think of your duty now, And you have to fight, period. And I'm telling you to fight. So I say, okay. So though I have my duty, I have to think about them, but also I must do my duty. I mean, my duty to, others. And in that, the priority always is the duty to God, you know, because whatever little I've understood about the small span of my life, I know it's going inevitable. The only truth about my life and my existence on this earth is the inevitable truth of death coming. And after death, where am I going? Of course, it's another topic, depending on our various beliefs and understandings, because no one seems to have come back to tell us. But we do live in the faith that we are here temporarily. And during this temporary time period, I have to make my life meaningful. My life has to be meaningful. Otherwise, what is time? What is time management? What is anything if life itself, existence itself, is not meaningful? Hmm? And when I plan my time, I remember one thing always. Although I'm very clear in my mind, but God please help me to maintain my flexibility, because there are many needs of mine, and I have planned out I'm going to do this, do that, gain this, or whatever, or shun this. But my duty to God, because there is a supreme authority, someone, whatever, maybe call him supreme authority, a supreme personality, um, whatever name we may give him. But definitely, if we look around at the universe and we see the control and the time management around us, deep down, one can feel that if I'm not in tune with this very existence, if I'm ever tangential, then I'm gone. And yes, those are the thoughts when I come to my mind when I hear about predestined deaths like suicides and other things. And even other man-made disasters. It comes to mind that, when things like this can happen also, and even if we take them in the spirit, that even these things are with the will of God. If my faith is that firm, huh? In other words, anything can happen, but everything happens with His will, then I have to prepare for that day, no? Huh? So after all my efforts and all, what I always think, the quality I always ask for, and I also request everybody I interact with when I'm doing interactions for stress managements and time managements, I say, learn to be flexible. Learn to be flexible. Because, when one's not flexible, then one gets angered. And when one is angry, our decisions are never correct. Uh, we are always making mistakes. And also, when we become flexible, what happens? We develop empathy. Seeing somebody unhappy, I may be sympathetic and say a few kind words. But if I'm not rigid and if I'm flexible and I see things that are going around me may not permit me to gain what I have worked out on my list, on my to do list, then I will never feel an empathy. Never. And if we live in brotherhood, hmm, then empathy is one of the things that is very important. So I would say, in existence, since I've handled so many departments, to me, though I worked a lot for social work, social welfare department and education and all that, but the one that was closest to my heart was health, because I thought we have taken birth here and God has given us a body. The soul is existing in the body. This is the vehicle that the soul is going to drive throughout its existence to the moment of death. So it is my primary duty to take care of my health. And therefore, when the list of needs is made by us, I always say the priority of your need list should be your health. And health, well, our youth today and everybody is talking about gyms and whatnot, and aerobics. And no, that again gives us another kind of stress, because you have to manage time to do these extra activities, isn't it? So why increase stress? A little walk every day, you know, is good enough. Eating the right kind of food is good enough. Uh, Sleeping well, resting is good enough. Trying to uh, make your 100%, putting in your 100% effort for accepting things as they come is good enough. You know, life was never, never, ever meant to be complex. Life is so simple. Actually, I think we are all so, calm and quiet and tranquil, like, as I say, the waters of the lake. It is only when the pebbles of needs and wants and desires fall into our life that the ripples start. And when the ripples start, one ripple into another, but if two, three pebbles are falling at the same time, you know, then the ripples are overlapping, and suddenly, you see the raindrops in a lake. Oh my God, that time those little ripples are like waves, and the lake really turns into a little ocean. And, it's raining. So just imagine, where are the stresses coming from? We were born so, so tranquil, so peaceful. It is these things, the pebbles of needs, desires, which are falling into our existence, that are causing all the stresses of life. And therefore, I think time management tool is actually not just management of time. Because as I said, till date, no one can really say what time is. Whether it's just a moment, whether it's years and years. And then what is years? For example, we say Lord Shiva just blinks his eye, and maybe it's years for us. Hmm? Or Brahmaji. I mean, their moment is thousands of years for us. So, what is time? We cannot define it. But if we just take whatever, I will not talk about how history has brought time to be 24 hours a day, or time to be Sunday to Saturday, huh? Or time to be January to December. No, because now these are things we've all come to accept. But the fact is, we do not know time, because we do not know the time of our exit from our present existence, isn't it? We do not know that. And therefore, since we do not know that time, therefore, whatever knowledge we have, and there, yes, I can say philosophy to me would mean not the knowledge of the world or the knowledge of other people, but to me, philosophy is my knowledge of whatever I have, uh, vis-a-vis my existence. That is my philosophical time and my philosophical way of existence, and avoiding stresses. mm, And of course, in one word, I would say to um, overcome all stresses in life, one should just surrender to the will of God. Just surrender. Let Him take over. And I don't mean, I mean, I wouldn't say that we shouldn't make our efforts, though there are stories in our holy books, there have been people who have had so much faith in God, because they have been challenged. Oh, you say God is going to feed you? And the believer says yes. Okay, so I leave you in the jungle, and let me see how God feeds you. We have read those stories. And the believer has just lied down there in the jungle, and the second day, third day, fourth day has gone. And when his energy is about to go off, a little sparrow comes and gives him a piece of fruit. Huh? So either we surrender to that extent, which of course is not possible for every human being, but the word surrender can be converted by us into the word acceptance. So if something is happening, let it happen and accept and try to deal with it. Let me not stress myself. Oh, had you not done this to me, this would have not happened. Or torture myself by saying, had I not done that, then this would have not happened. Ari, if I'm living in the moment, then I need not talk these things, no? And also, there is a very beautiful thing about time. We've all experienced this. When something happens to us, we are so agitated, so angry, or we are totally broken, desperate, frustrated, totally baffled by the stress. And then time goes by, our man-made time, it goes by. And 5 years down the line, we say, I tell you, I have actually gone through that. After that, Are, that time I was crying, talking, laughing, or whatever. And today I'm sick. So, the other trick of time management and stress management is, if something happens to me, try to pull myself away from that situation, go inward, and look at that situation as if it happened 5 years ago. As if it has happened 5 years ago. It has already happened and gone. That is one more trick, of time management. Because what one is doing, I know I have lived these number of years. Okay, push it back to 10, 20, whatever gives you more peace at heart, isn't it? So, time management is not limited to what we read of, of course, what I've just said. Yes, we can do these things, which is what we teach to our institutions and students. But time management is something beyond what I said is our attitude. And if that attitude, my philosophy, and time management also is coming together with right people, the positive vibes, you know. Do we make an effort in our time management to afford for ourselves a few minutes? And yes, at least our philosophy family is going to, we have decided definitely every Sunday, 6:30 to 1, and that 1.5 hour, 8 o'clock, 6:30 to 8, we are giving time to ourselves. Because here is one platform where we are talking our heart out, and we know when our question answer session will come, if I have been somewhere misplacing my thoughts, my family member is going to tell me, or if I'm still somewhere, as I said, I feel in a quagmire, someone might hold my hand. So again, this is very important in our time management, to get our positive vibes, because otherwise when we leave ourselves alone, the circumstances sometimes, they dominate. And because we cannot give vent to what is within us, our feelings, because we know sometimes we like to be brave, we don't like to shed tears, for example, some of us. And some of us may actually have a lot of you know a lot of sorrow within, but from outside they keep laughing, smiling, and move normally. Of course, it's a zombie like life, but it is true. It is true. People do that also. So, giving ourselves a little time with positive vibes, with people or places, you know, places. We may give our time, maybe in the evening or once a week, go to a garden, sit there, go sit by a lakeside, riverside, or we can also go to a cemetery. Now, as I said, I will be telling you all things from my personal experiences. So please don't mind. Don't think I'm asking you to go to cemeteries for peace. But yes, there's such quiet places, and it brings us back, and brings us back more strong. oh, that is my end after all, right? So if I have to make my life meaningful, time management is very important. I must not waste time, because the moment that has gone is never ever going to come back. It's never ever going to come back. And therefore, I also, when we discuss about, for example, people sending us good mornings on our WhatsApp, some of my friends say, oh, what is this nonsense? Why are they sending me a good morning every day? And I tell them, listen, even to send that good morning, it takes a minute. That particular person cares enough for you to give that 1 minute of his or her life to send that good morning to you. He could be he could be 7 seas away, but he's sending that good morning to you because that 1 minute he's giving to you. That 1 minute he's giving to you from not only that 1 hour or 24 hours or whatever from that day, but from a lifetime. And if any person is doing that every day, imagine 365 minutes per year you're getting from each person. Of course, one should not get addicted to these things, as we tell our youngsters, that sometimes getting addicted even to these media, openings, our Facebooks and WhatsApp and tweets and whatever, even that is an addiction, and we are wasting time per se, wasting time, full blog. But when you're devoting that time, then it becomes meaningful. It becomes meaningful because, especially in a world of today, where due to the pandemic, the COVID, we have been all tied in, suddenly these moments, these thoughts, these blessings, these good wishes, sometimes these little TikTok laughters we get, don't they change our mood? Huh? So that also is time management. And if we have to make our to-do list, we can even bracket out, okay, 10 minutes in the morning, I'll be on Facebook. 15 minutes in the evening, I'll be on my WhatsApp or whatever, instead of being, all the time looking at the phone and all that. So the philosophy of time management to me, in simple words, would be my attitude towards leading, managing, yes, my attitude, the philosophy, my attitude towards life and the managing of my life. It would mean not in those very cooperative terms, the corporations talk in terms of time management, but and how am I going to do it? A, by acceptance. Again, acceptance is limited because I can accept only what my knowledge gives me the parameters, I cannot accept beyond that. But then I have to have the faith that God will not give me more than what I can accept. And once I have that faith, then with that faith, my acceptance level will also go up, because I'll say, oh, God is going to give me only that which I can accept. Huh? So naturally, I will manage it, because even if my level of fighting back a certain, I shouldn't say fighting back, the positive word is, even if I want to overcome an obstacle, and I feel, no, the obstacle is more than I can take, but if I have the faith, He's given me only what I can handle, then obviously my energy will make me to take a step back, to run faster and hop over my obstacle, isn't it? So it's time management. Unfortunately, I think we are using the time only because we are limited to our clocks, showing 24 hours or 12 hours AM and 12 hours PM. Otherwise, there's nothing like time per se. My time management means whatever existence I have got, let me manage through my acceptance, my beliefs, uh, and make the existence meaningful. And if we are lucky, our meaningful existences would also, you know, be maybe while we are talking, or if someone is quoting us, maybe somewhere by law of tort. In law, we have this law of tort where something is happening, perhaps in America, but I'm the one who's being affected by it. So one never knows that our own existence may someday, by law of tort, bring a difference to the life of someone who has come after us. Uh, and time management should also think about not only ourselves, but if we could also bring a difference into this beautiful world that God has given us. Huh? And for example, I keep planting fruit trees. I may not live to eat the fruit, huh? But when I'm gone, someday the fruit will come on that tree, no? So if I'm leaving this world, because God has given me such a beautiful place to live in. So in my time management, if I become a little selfless, and then also bring a little, leave my surroundings a little more beautiful than what I got. Maybe I got a piece of land and I can make a little house and make a little orchard or make a little garden. And in bigger terms, if I can leave a little love, if I can leave a little understanding through the management of my life, I think we would all be blessed. And, Professor Pramodji, I had promised you my punchline would be surrendering. I have surrendered, and I need all of your blessings. Thank you.
Okay, thanks so much, madam, for your very wonderful talk. Today, being a senior most social activist and educationist, you have inspired us with your sweet voice. You have reflected on different dimensions of time and time management. You have said how a universe takes the repeated cycle of creation, the cycle of birth and death, and taking the taking the taking the Vedic knowledge. You have said how the time is said to be eternal. You have taken the views of Plato, Aristotle, Saint Augustine to reflect on what is time and how time moves on. You have said how time management should be the rule of life. And when we do not manage time, all kinds of stresses start. And you also said that how there is time management in different sectors in the nature also. And the Almighty has managed time very beautifully. And he has managed the time not only in one universe, but in different universe. And it is also unbelievable. We cannot expect, we cannot think of the time management of the Almighty. We have said that how life is so limited and we suffer from stress and time because of our time management. And in order to take over stress and strain, one has to fix his goal. One had to set the goal of life. And you said how every leader takes time management, maybe social leader, political leader, educational leader, and leader of any sector. He has to deal with the time management in order to make the life meaningful. And if time goes, then it will never come back. So every fraction of time is very meaningful. Very beautifully, you have, madam, shared your noble experiences of life. You have given the examples of sacred text and other examples to overcome the stress of life. You have said how there is positive attitude, there is the sense of acceptance, the sense of commitment, the sense of this sense of taking everything from one angle, from the angle of positivity. Then we can excellently manage the time. And I don't want to say that you have said it in your entire talk. I simply bow down my head before you for giving time to philosophy family and to share your experience on time and time management. Thanks so much, madam. Now, I would like to request Professor Dr. K. Umnanan Rao to moderate the question and answer session. Over to Dr. Rao.
Namaskar, everybody. Thank you, Dr. Maharana. Thank you, Roma Madam. Very nice lecture, very interesting. Well, it's the question and it's a moderation session. We'll take certain questions to discuss. Well, I'll start with one thing that time is fixed. It cannot be elongated. But if we are able to manage time right, we may find ample time to do things more, to do more of things. So that's how time management is so important. Thank you very much, madam. Well, we have with us, I see on the screen, Professor Avinash Srivastav, sir. Well, you want to say something, sir? Professor Srivastav. Then we'll move to Krishnamurthy, sir, and Ranjit Ghosh, sir. Sir, please unmute, sir.
Yes. Good evening, everybody, and thanks a lot.
And let me first extend my deep sense of regard to her for a wonderful speech, which was coming from within, and it was saturated with the knowledge as well as emotions, because it was coming through her long past experience, and in such a nice way. She has started with Vedas and the Gita and so many things, and concluded in a very profound way, expressing what is time and how it can be managed. Madam, I am really grateful to you for your wonderful speech. To my mind, I have also read Gita, and when Sri Krishna, Arjuna comes before him, because he was very uh, he was turned down, and he said, Karpanya dosha nihat pahayang prikshamitum dharma sammudha cheta, and he was not in position to do anything. And what did he say in answer to that? Gata sunang gata shushchang nanu suchanti pandita. The time which has already been passed, one should not, the prudent person should not care for that. And it is your time to manage it, how to do it. And thereafter he says, उत्तिष्ठ जागति तस्मादुत्तिष्ठाय कौन्तेय युद्धाय कृतनिश्चय. Madam, you have explained very nicely the things, how the time starts and how time ends, and in between how you have to manage the thing, as in Sri Krishna has already said there. Now, to my mind, the time has threefold present. It is neither past nor future, but it has only present. Past is the past memory, present is the present experience, and future is the present expectation. Now, the thing is, if we brood on the past, we will be spoiling the time. If we go on thinking on the future and what to expectations only, we will again spoiling the time, because you have only present to do, and this is limited to you. And if you want to do better in the light of the past, you prepare for the future in the present itself. because this present is not going to leave you, and you will always live in the present, neither in past nor in the future. So time management starts with present, ends with present, and that's why you will have to manage only two things: the memories and expectation. And if you can manage both the things, I think the time management will be the best one, because you live in present, present, and present only. This is what I wanted to say. Thank you very
Thank
much
you.
for the nice deliberation.
Thank you so much. And when you talked about only present, what came to my mind was that we have been asked and we have read that, we have to hope for the best and be prepared for the worst. Because the next moment we do not know what will happen. So we can hope, and hope for the best. But if, as I said, flexibility, if that best does not come and something other than that comes, then we have to just be prepared for it. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Good evening,
Professor
madam.
Srinivasan, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome.
Yes. Good evening, madam. I'm Dr. Srinivasan here. I would like to, have a clarification from your end relating to time management. It's told that a retiree doesn't bother about time management. He has
I'm sorry,
no plan.
doctor. I'm sorry, doctor. Who does not bother about time management?
A
Retiree.
retiree,
The
a man who is retired,
A
yes,
retired
yes.
person. A retired person.
Okay, I
like
am
you and
also
me,
retired,
like
so
you and
fine.
me, perhaps.
Most
Yes, 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 sir.
Okay. He doesn't bother about time management. He has no plans about the future. But one thing is
Yes.
certain, that he must be prepared for the best to happen, not the worst to happen. But when is the question? In my case, I'm a retiree since 2004. I don't find time to cope up with my engagements. I need 48
Absolutely.
hours a day. I need 48 hours a day. I plan. Ultimately, what is the use of introspection of the past, the present, and planning for the future? It is disgusting, really. The time lost is time never regained. People
Absolutely.
used to say that you can save money and time, make hay while the sun shines is the proverb. But unfortunately, nothing is going to be permanent in this empirical world. There is no time bound and space bound in the causal reality. In the empirical reality, you have everything. How do you,
Yes.
comprehend these two? Because I'm sure the purpose of time management is for saving time. Ultimately, what is it going to, help us in which way? That is my perception
Yes.
and clarification. Kindly tell me, madam, please.
Uh, Please allow me the liberty,
Yes,
Sri
ma'am. Sure.
Srinivasan sir. I think after retirement, one feels that now my job is not there, so I'll have enough of time. But there are other responsibilities that God always prepares for us. Because when one door is closed, this is what it means. When one door is closed, God will always open other doors and windows for us. So the day we retire from that so-called official work, that many number of hours we may save, but the responsibilities at home, which we were otherwise not looking into, we've begun to look at. And sir, I think since I'm referring only to the retired group, I think we need to actually give more time to introspection each morning to start with, because now we are not at a stage to introspect the past, and we are intelligent enough to understand that future we should not bother about. So we can just introspect in the morning and say, okay, now what am I going to do today? Even though you need 48 hours, Srinivasan sir, but I would say, you think, what are the things I don't need to do today? That will cut off, I believe, half of the time. What are the things I have to do? I'll do them. What are the things I am going to do? The rest you can maybe, delegate to Mrs. Srinivasan or your children. I do not know. So I won't be personal. But, one thing I learned in life also, which I got from my parents and my grandparents, three things: time, health, and money. As a child, I was told these three things come to a person very rarely and for a very short time. So when they come to us, the three things, then if we have not made the most of it, then if we now also have the three things, money, time, as a retired person, time, money from whatever, and then health. So therefore, my philosophy about life, health, I give priority. So I think, sir,
Excuse me, madam.
yes,
The first priority should be on health. That is what
yes,
my perception.
yes, my first health. And then, depending on the time and the money we have, we can plan out a day. Let's live one day at a time, no? We may prepare, as I said, we have to work for the best, hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. So what we can do, we can, live by the day. Maybe we keep things a little, we
Excuse
may
me once
keep
again.
us a little aside. Yes,
Why
yes.
do you always say prepare for the worst? It is not the
Ha.
worst. It is the best to
No, no,
happen.
no, no,
Why?
no, no, no. Sir, I'm saying, I'm talking about positivity. That what we have to do, number one, positivity, take care of our health daily, and with the time and money that we have, plan the day. In the mind, there has to be hope for the best. Tomorrow will be, if not more better, sorry, wrong English, if not better, it will definitely be as beautiful as today. And then when I say prepare for the worst, that is where flexibility comes in. Suppose my tomorrow, when I get up in the morning, I have a terrible headache. Huh? So that is the time my flexibility has to come up. My health is taken care of the day before. I slept very well, hoping the next day will be good. But early in the morning, I have a terrible headache. So I get up minus in my health sector. So immediately what I do, otherwise if I'm having my tea at 10 o'clock, I may get up and have a cup of hot tea immediately, or a glass of hot water immediately. So that is how we get flexibility, makes us prepared for the situation that comes before us.
Thank you,
Thank you.
madam.
Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Srinivasan, sir. There is no retirement for teachers, sir. No retirement. So, well, we have with
No
us D. Pramod,
retirement.
sir. Welcome, sir. Welcome, sir. D. Pramod, sir. Sir, welcome, sir. Namaskar. Welcome.
Good evening, sir. For all the philosophers, I'm quite happy to be in this group. Yesterday, Krishna Iyer sir added me in this group. I'm quite happy to learn all of this. As you said, the time is the most important. Time is a precious. If you don't use the time, and you are fuller than the foolest in the world. You are fuller than the foolest in the world. God has given a birth to us on this earth. Use the time properly. Don't think for this birth, you think for the next birth. This birth has given a God to utilize this time for the next. So a lot of, you do the punya karmas, use the time properly. This the time is given to us. As per Shastras, I learned it, I heard somewhere, that 24 hours should be divided into three parts. 8 hours, 8 hours, 8 hours. 8 hours for the daily routine and sleep. 8 hours for the management, your job, and 8 hours the spiritual activities. 4 hours in the morning, 4 hours in the... If you start doing, then you will start feeling the time. The present technology has given the time to us. The present technology is a catalyst, basically. It will save the time, actually. If I want to go to Chennai by train, it may take 24 hours. If I go by flight, it will take 1 hour. I am saving 23 hours. 23 hours is saved in a life, actually. Of course, you spend the money, the time has used. If the time used properly for a spiritual activity purpose, for a philosophical purpose, then we'll be successful. If I'm thinking for the past many years, if everything think in the service of the God, every time think that He is with you, then you'll never make a mistake. You think everything I'm doing for the God, every second for the God in, and automatically your activities will be good, and you don't want to go anywhere. After this age, and we know that up to 50 years of time, we want everything. I want marriage, I want son, I want a flats, I want a blah, blah, all the things. After 50 years, past the time, your son will go for higher studies, daughter will get married, wife will go somewhere, you'll be left alone only. So try to manage the time to stay alone, how to do the time, but no one gets bored. It all depends upon how you're working actually. People say time is not there. One day, time will pass you. People go for the time pass, but one day time will pass you. Time is so precious. And I feel more than money. Money will go and money may come and go, but time will not come. So I feel finally, I'll say that the time is whatever you left, maybe 10 years, 15 years, if they use the time properly, our next birth may be more successful. Thank you for giving the opportunity, sir.
I think that, am I pronouncing name Dumada?
Yeah, I'm Pramod. I'm D. Pramod, Dr. Pramod.
Okay, Dr. Pramod, because you're
No problem.
thank you very much, Dr. Pramod, for what you have said. And yet, that also is a way of management when we hand over our life to God and believe I'm doing everything for Him. That is a part of life management, because when we do it for ourselves or for my spouse or for my child or for money, then what happens? We become very materialistic. So what you have suggested is one way of managing life by saying, I am doing this for God, So thank you very much. And also the other extreme of this particular attitude, philosophy is, this is my last moment. So one is, I may live for a lifetime, 100 years, but I live for God. So whatever we do is not materialistic, but it is devoted to God, and we won't make a mistake. The other is live this moment as if it was my last. Then again, we make no mistakes, because nobody wants his last moment to be tormenting, Then automatically our nature, our characteristic, everything changes. Because if I know this is my last moment, my Yamraj is going to be here, then obviously I don't want to see Yamraj seeing me angry or doing a wrong thing, Thank you very much, Dr. Prabhu.
Thank you, Roma madam, for very good responses. Well, we have with us Professor Hamidullah sir. We have with us Professor Ranjit Ghosh sir. Sir, Professor Hamidullah sir, would you like to speak something, sir?
Hello.
Thank you, sir.
Yes,
Thank you,
Professor
sir.
Ghosh.
No.
Hello.
Professor Ranjit Ghosh, sir.
First, Ranjit Ghosh, see, then after I will speak something. Yeah.
Yes, Professor Dr. Ghosh. Yes, sir. Sir,
Yeah.
please continue.
Thank you, Dr. Rao. I want to personally thank Madam Roma, because it is something personal I am telling. For the last 45 years, now I am 70. For the last 45 years, I have one flex which I am carrying with me always. It says that take life one day at a time. And today when I was searching Madam Roma in the Google, one quotation that came to me, that is, every day is once in a lifetime. So if we club this together, then we can get what is the philosophy of time and what is the philosophy of time management. Again, I am repeating, take life one day at a time, and then every day is once in a lifetime. So if we club this together, then we can get the what is time and what actually the philosophical implication of time is. Now, another important thing which she was referring, and which I have experimented when I was an undergraduate student, to sit by the riverside, and I used to sit by the riverside, and the other side is the smashan or the burial ground. Then the flame is coming out there, and here the river with full flow, the river is passing on. So this actually gave me the insight of what time is and how fragile time is. So these are the personal experiences that I want to share to you. And I don't know how old are you, but I am now 70, and for the past 45 years I am carrying this. And today actually I got this line, and which can be my second line, that every day is once in a lifetime. This is a very obvious thing, but we never give importance to such things. Now, coming to Professor Srinivasan's way, we are all retired people. So one thing I want to say, that if we take time as a circle and divide it into 4 quadrants, then we can find out what to do and what not to do. There are 4 quadrants of a circle. So we have to decide some actions which are urgent and important, some actions are not urgent yet important, and some other actions are urgent and not important, and lastly some actions which are not urgent and not important. So if we can find out such things, if we can divide our activities into this way, I think we can manage the time well. This much I have to say, and to share with Madam Roma my personal experience. Thank you. And here in this context, I would say I will bring Herman Hesse and Siddharth. He wrote a great book, Siddharth. And you see how the Buddhist the way of life could not help him much. The Shramanic life also could not help him much. But when he sat by the riverside and could get he could understand the flux of time. That is what the Herman's small book is. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. And I feel emboldened, I put up these thoughts which you have just mentioned, a thought that I come across and I feel would be healing to many hearts. I put it up in my stories. I feel really grateful that, you looked at it and you found some similarity. And, there is a beautiful hymn, uh, uh, one day at a time, sweet Jesus, let me live one day at a time. So if you have the occasion, please look it up. You will really enjoy the beautiful hymn. Namaskar.
Yes, Professor Hamidullah, sir.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Ravji and Professor Roma Wani, Professor Srinivasan ji, Professor Avinash ji, Professor Ranjit Ghosh ji, and Professor Pramod Kumar ji, and all. You all are wise people, and some of us have retired, and others are about to retire. But a professor never retires, and if he retires, then whole world will just feel gloomy. And if professors will feel that they have retired, then what will happen to this world? Yeah, we are more mature and we are more educated and we are more wise when we become retired. And I have found people after retirement doing more than they were doing when they were in active service. And some people wait for retirement to do those works which they could not accomplish during their, active service. Well, it is a perception sometimes that when we are busy with something, we don't know how the days and nights pass. It was asked once to a great Sufi, Baiz Bistami, how your days and nights pass. He said, in the remembrance of God, I don't know when the morning comes and when the evening goes. So when we are busy with something very lofty, as has been said by Professor Damodar Das ji, so if you divide your life maybe in 4 or 3 sections, and especially we have now become conditioned to just quote Krishnamurti, we have been conditioned by our work. And now time manages us. We don't manage time. So we don't care for how we can pass time, but time manages us in such a way because we have become habitual. We have become accustomed to many things, and we can't do without that. We will read book. We will go for walk. We will speak somewhere. We will give advice to people. So this is the wise stage of our life, that's retirement. I think so. And secondly, we have to talk also about the youngsters. Okay, we may be the people who are retired. how we can advise our youngsters to spend their time. Now they do spend their time in the library. They do go, for their morning walk even, and they have just taken very luxurious, I should say, way of life. So we need to attend because now the knowledge is going. Let me tell you, experience is going, and our young generation is losing its bus. And I feel that if we not teach our youngsters about time management and tell them that you have to spend some time in the library, you have to go through books, then we will lost most of the wisdom which we have in our religious books, in our scriptures. At least all of you have talked about religion. You have talked about scriptures. But new generation, they don't know anything about scriptures. There's a problem. So we need to tell them that how we can manage your time. So life is not only to earn, but life is also to learn many things. And but our young generation is managing their time for earning only, and they are not very much bothered about the spiritual value, moral value. In most cases, I don't underestimate their talent or their capacity or their propensity, but I feel that the people like Professor Roma Wani ji and these wise scholars here and philosophers, we need to tell our youngsters how to manage their time, and let us share our experiences with them. That's very important, as some of you have shared your experiences, and this is good to give a personal touch to all such type topics as has been done by Roma Vaniji, and that is sometimes lacking in our lectures, in our seminars and conferences. We do give the personal touch to any aspect like time management. We are more, in a speculative manner, we are talking about these matters. But this is a real, asset with us because all of us are getting the same time. And God is so magnanimous so far in giving the time to all. And there is no, I should say bifurcation, or there is no, I should say any different type of stepmotherly treatment to anyone. So far as the time is concerned, everyone has been given the same time. But how we use that time, that's the problem. And I have seen that people in the West, they are managing their time better. And if they are writers, they are only writers. We want to be many things at a time, then we lose most of our time. So we need to know what are our basic talents and capabilities and capacity, and then concentrate on that rather than work everywhere in this field and become jack of all trades and master of none. So this is something I wanted to say, but this was a very beautiful presentation. And I was just with a rapt attention, I was listening because I used to listen to Madam. And this is a good discovery, I should say. It was my discovery that I am so thankful that she just accepted our request and she is here now. And she will be with us in the future discourses also. And she will also present more and more such type of beautiful, deliver such lectures. So I am thankful to all. So this was really a very good, lecture today, and it engaged us all, and we all have become very much serious about time management or how time manages us. Thank you very much.
Sir, it was
Thank you.
really wonderful you have spoken. I can quote only one verse. Kabbe Shastra Vinodena. What does he say? Kabbe Shastra Vinodena Kalo Gachati Dhimatam. This what you have said very correctly. I really admire for your comments and
Thank you,
compliments.
sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Professor Hamidullah and Professor Srivastava. Well, one thing that comes, well, taking the question of retirement. Well, as Professor even Hamidullah even agrees that teachers have no retirement. Well, the real time really starts once the engagements, the daily routines you are free from. Okay, so that is the real time one can have to understand what is life, to understand this beautiful creation. So man is so much involved in his busy schedules, but once say you take the retirement as a mark, and it's the real time when one can understand what is life, why this creation, why we are here. So these are the questions that we can really think about, and that is the real time. So there is no retirement for us, especially for professors. So thank you, Professor Hamidullah sir. Well, thank you. Well, there is a good question in the chat box. Well, after a long time, I could see Professor Nanda Ghosh. actually, after a long time, after a long gap, the question is as follows. Roma Madam talked of acceptance. So the question with Professor Go says, do we have any control on what to accept and what not to accept? So what the feeling is, well, we are simply given with certain things, and there is no say freedom on our part as to what to accept and what not to. So how do you take this, madam?
This is Dr. Ghosh, right?
The Ghosh.
Hello.
Yes, Professor Nanda Ghosh.
Yes, Professor Dr. Ghosh. To me, acceptance is a wholesome thing, so that you accept the good and the not so good. But when your question seems more classified, and I feel that we have you want me to understand what to accept and what not to accept. Now, if I'm into the mode of acceptance from the omnipresence, then I will accept everything. But if I'm in the mode of acceptance from a co-worker, a junior, a senior, spouse, child, then because I have the breath of the Almighty, I have the power to decide whether I want to accept or not accept. Now, if I want to accept, let me see how much of a willpower I have to accept. But if at a particular stage I see that no, this is something now I cannot accept, then again, there are two ways of dealing with it. Either I do a tit for tat, the one, the very harsh thing of eye for eye, tooth for tooth, or I make lemons out of stones and walls out of bricks. So these are the two ways. When I said acceptance in my talk regarding my philosophy of life and time management, that time I was thinking of a total acceptance of whatever comes our way in our life. But in a classification, as you are seeking, sir, that how much to accept or what to accept and what not to accept, then yes, there is a stage in our mind which, tells us, now this is going beyond the social line. This is going beyond the cultural line. This is going beyond moral lines. That is a time when we should take action. And, Arjuna said the same things. As a matter of fact, they went to war because Duryodhana was not ready to accept the proposal that Sri Krishna brought to him, right? So we have been taught that, when you don't accept, then you have to fight. Then it's again the greater acceptance. Whether you're successful or failure, then you have to wait. Once you take a step, then you have to wait. What will be the end result? What will be the fruit? Then that will be the second test, whether we are ready to accept or not ready to accept. Dr. Ghosh, I hope your question to me was clear in my mind. If not, you may please reframe it or ask whatever you want to,
Dr. Pramod, you want to say something? Dr. Pramod.
There's a small announcement I would like to make it. I am organizing the Malaria University, organizing the philosophical science research as well as science and literature. And it is sponsored by the ICPR. I request all our senior faculty members, philosophers, please send in articles so it will be useful for all the young faculties. And my purpose of this one is a lot of young faculty, they do not have the concept of the philosophy actually. If the philosophy is known, the way of teaching will be different. We can teach mathematics and English simple way, but philosophy concept introduced among the minds of the faculties, that will be helpful to all people. So I request all the people, please send us some articles and whatever you know it, some 3-4 pages, it will be useful to in the conference, sir.
Thank you, Professor Pramod. Well, we have circulated your message in the WhatsApp groups. well, it will be
Yes.
taken care of. Sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sir, well, again, we have with us Shravani Mishra Madam. After a long time, she's again attending. Well, she has certain query in her mind. What I could understand from her is that in the management of time, certain problems, what she sees is, you see, in the life, there are certain misunderstandings, there are certain wrongs, there are certain, say, attitude, a sense of hating somebody. The love is not flowing up. So, we when we feel that some sort of misunderstanding has occurred, so when the realization comes again, to rectify the wrongs, we need again time. So that's again in a situation when we go, when we are not aware of what you are speaking, what you are doing. So we commit certain errors. So that should be given away so that we can have effective time management. So this is one way of putting up. Say what she says is, by this we can have positive thoughts and we can manage time effectively. Okay, so this is one observation that Ramani Mishra that makes, and well, okay, I don't. Well, I don't see any question. Well, if somebody in the meantime, somebody wants to say something, well, they are welcome. I'll be seeing if any other question is there.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, Dr. Mir Nazir, welcome. Yes, Dr. Mir Nazir, welcome, sir. With us our admin, Professor Pramod Kumar Das, sir. Well, welcome, sir. Please, your observation, sir. Well, Dr. Mir Nazir, you
Am
want
I
to say?
audible, sir? Am I audible, sir?
Yes, you're audible now, sir. Please, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, I'm a student of philosophy.
Sir, please.
Am I audible, sir?
Sir, you are audible, sir. You're audible. Carry on, sir.
Thanks, sir. सब धरती कागज करो, लिखने से बन रहा है, सात समंदर की मौसी करो, गुरु गुण लिखना जाए. If the whole earth is transformed into paper, with all the big trees made into pens, if the entire water in the seven oceans are transformed into writing ink, even then the glories of Guru cannot be written. Such is the greatness of Guru. And this gives me immense pleasure to be with all the philosophers and senior professors in this group, especially from the philosophy department. Sir, there are lots of verses in our Quran regarding the time. Sir, I will just take 2 minutes only.
Yes, sir. Carry on, sir. Carry on, sir.
Okay. There are a lot of verses in our Holy Quran regarding the time management, even on the time as well. So, there is one of the surah in Quran, Surah Al-Asr, where Allah says, by time, indeed, mankind is in the state of loss, except those who believe and do good deeds. It is important that you decide on how you will spend your time before that time comes. Our Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said about the time that there are two blessings which may people lose. They are health and free time for doing good. From this saying, we can conclude that we should utilize our time for doing good deeds for the sake of God. As Professor Romana ma'am rightly said regarding the time management, and somehow it is historical perspective. So I will just conclude time management is planning your time effectively. It is a philosophy for allocating time according to preferences and priorities. It looks at how you divide. It looks how you divide your time between activities, while good facts enable people to work smarter, not harder. Ma'am, I shall conclude, but I have a question.
as you are well aware about the fact that philosophy is such an important subject. Everyone follows it, either he is aware of it or not. Philosophy is regarded as mother of all the subjects, all the arts. All the renowned scientists, social scientists, were philosophers like Aristotle, Thales, Plato, Newton, Einstein, Descartes, Leibniz, uh, Karl Popper, etc. But being such an important subject, philosophy has been neglected at school level as well as higher level. This is my question, ma'am, please. Thank you.
Uh, Dr. Mir, am I audible?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Please.
Dr. Mir, um, I think this is only a passage of time, because it's not that we have neglected the philosophy for students. It has come into our education system in various forms. We've had moral science and in schools where children are stories taught. We have the non-formal education, like NCCs and scouting guiding. There they are taught again time management and all that. So though it is very important, but if you feel it has been neglected, then in your personal time management, I'll be waiting for you to give us and the public at large and the educational boards your personal views, how to incorporate it. And since you are, Dr. Saab, yourself aware of it, I mean, without doubt, I know with your very dealings and interactions with your colleagues or with your family or with your students, in some way or the other, you are passing on the beauty of the philosophy of life.
Excuse me, perhaps if I am allowed, just say one.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Basically, I think that Dr. Mir Nasir Saab wanted to say that in Kashmir, you do have the Department of Philosophy. But no, I just want to inform him that we have started the Department of Philosophy in Islamic University of Science and Technology. And but this is true that there is no other university in Kashmir where philosophy is being taught. But in Jammu University, Central University, they have started. In also Islamic University has started. But we need to start the Department of Philosophy in other universities. Perhaps he was alluding to that fact. Otherwise, no, we need in some colleges we are being given this option to opt for philosophy, but not in the universities. So I feel that we need to encourage subjects like philosophy in our universities, and especially in Kashmir as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mir.
Excuse me, may I just tell Dr. Saab, Marazi Saab, you brought out a very beautiful point regarding, our children developing the habit of reading in libraries. So, we must also see that our libraries are full of philosophical studies, Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Well, I see a very beautiful observation by Shravani Misra, madam. She says, "How long we live, we do not know. But how meaningfully we live, actually, it counts." So there is a need to live meaningfully. Okay, so that is the greatest respect to time. So this is an observation by Shravani Misra. So I repeat. I think I could not make it clear. Well, she says, "How long we live, we do not know, but how meaningfully we live, that makes sense." Okay, so living meaningfully, okay, in this world, the greatest respect for time. So this is the greatest one of the beautiful observations made by Shravani Misra. Well, Dr. Mir, you want to say something? Well, some network issue with Dr. Mir. Well, he wants to say something. Well, anyway, we have it as our admin, Professor Pramodkumar Das. Well, Professor Das, please, Professor Das.
Namaskar, namaskar. Really, it was wonderful. Discussion was also very interesting. Um, Madam beautifully explained the philosophy of time management. She dealt with two beautiful concepts. One is philosophy and the other is time. Um, I appreciate her effort, her interest, um, her wisdom, her love, her care, and her patience to listen to others. That is time management. If we have patience to listen to others, if we have patience to respond to nature, the cosmic phenomena, that indicates that we have understood time management. Otherwise, we are impatient. We have complaining nature for everything that happens around us in our life. I shall add something as a token of a compliment for Roma Madam. Time consciousness is a human possibility. Time is measured only when there is an event. Through the occurrence of an event, we measure time. X happens, then Y happens. So the interval between X and Y, it is generally calculated as time. Madam said it is life and death. Life and death is a very good example, but in every starting and in every ending of an event, we can measure time. But events do not occur in time. Time is measured through events. But events do not occur in time. This is the metaphysics of time. For example, there is sun, there is galaxy, there is cosmic order. All these things take place without time. Animals are not conscious of time. They don't have time philosophy, time consciousness. They just respond to the nature, animals. And the nature itself responds to itself without having any time consciousness. That is time eternity. We human beings, because we are rational, because we want to live a better life, we have calculated time into years, months, days, minutes, seconds, moments. We have calculated. So the common sense is, if we have an agenda, if we have created something, then we should take care of it. This is management. If we have taken birth to our children, we take care of them. Similarly, if we need time and we have created time, we should take care of it because we have created time. Time is not anywhere. Time is eternal. There is no past, no present, no future. This is our calculation. There is no month, no year, no animals. There is no New Year celebration for animals, for plants, for galaxy. They don't need time, but they are very much orderly. We human beings are conscious of time, but all crises are there for human beings. We have created time, but we neglect time. This is one thing. So we should understand the metaphysics of time. We should have that wisdom what time is. So from the metaphysical standpoint, time is an illusion. Time is an illusion. Time is real from the practical standpoint. Trains move in time. Schools and colleges run by time. We regulate our daily life, daily activities by time. This is the Vyavaharika Satta. This is the practical standpoint, practical perspective. Time is significant. Otherwise, there is no time, no classification of time. We should have this understanding. This is called timelessness. Timelessness. The person who is Sthita Prajna, the person who is really a Karma Yogi, he is timelessness. This is the highest wisdom, the timelessness. I feel the timelessness. The second thing is, if we have created time according to our pragmatic purpose to live a successful life, then we should be very much careful about the passing phases of life. We should take care of every event very sincerely. Many people are scared about retirement. They fear retirement. I shall say there is no retirement at all. Or in other words, I shall say every moment is a moment of retirement. We should know the art of retiring. That is called pratyahara in Patanjali Yoga. Whatever you do, after doing it, please retire from it. If you don't know how to retire, then you will have fear for retirement. Every action is done and it is finished, then you withdraw from it, then engage in another action, in another time. So retirement means retirement from what? Retirement from our service. But this service period, this service event is a very, very small event of our life. Life is not only service up to 60 years. Retirement means retirement from any assignment given to you. That is Karma Yoga. You have involvement for an action. You have to finish it in a time. Time is finished. Action is finished. Be detached from it. That detachment is retirement. So every moment is the moment of attachment, and every moment is also a moment of retirement. Then we can feel the charm of life. And then we can feel, then we can enjoy the time, and time becomes precious for us when we handle time, when we deal with time in such a way. And that is the message of the Bhagavad Gita. That is called Swadharma. Swadharma means in a particular action, assignment to be done very meticulously in a particular time, and after getting it done, forget it. Be detached from it. Because it is done for the duty sake. It is done for Lokasangra. It is done for the welfare. It is done for its own sake. So this is the feeling of timelessness. Yes, I did this in a time, but I am free from the bondage of time. Time is not a bondage for me. Because before my birth, there was this world. Events were there. After my death, everything will remain fine. Second thing. And the third point, and very, very important point, I shall add with apology, that man suffers from the psychological time. This is very, very important. And psychological time means one is the chronological time that takes place according to the events. And the psychological time is our own psychological management of time, and that is the crisis. I am giving an example. First thing is time is an illusion. Second thing is our psychological timing is the greater illusion, an illusion of illusion. How? Suppose many people, they live according to their psychological time. They don't go in the tune of the cosmic order, in the tune of the events that take place in nature naturally. They fix up their psychological time that I shall be satisfied if this event will continue for 2 hours or for 3 hours, or this event will continue for 100 years. Then I shall be satisfied. This is your psychological time. Your psychological setup, your psychological experience should end with the end of the event. That is the psychological, that is the root of all types of frustration, depression. Event takes place in the nature. Any event you take, for example, any event. For example, if you shall take from the Shastras, then Brahmacharya, Grahastha, Aranya, Brahma, Grahastha, Sannyasa, Vanaprastha. So this is a very, in the very broad sense, this is the classification of life. So at a point when we are retiring from the life of a brahmacharya or from the life of a student, and we are entering into the life of a grihastha, at a point we have to retire from the life of a grihastha with all the sense of detachment, so that we can enter into the life of vanaprastha, then we can enter into the sannyasa, then we can get enlightenment. So that means our psychological setup of time should end with the events of life. What happens on the contrary? Grahastha life is finished. Now, suppose Mr. X is about 70 years, but still he is interfering with the affairs of the son and daughter-in-law. That should not be, because he has crossed the life of Grahastha. That means psychologically he has not retired from the event which should be. That matters more. Suppose I am going to college. When I am going to college, I should leave my home psychologically, because this is my workplace. I should give 100% concentration to my college duty. But the moment I come out of the college gates, college should not be my priority. My family should be my priority. When I am going to temple, I should behave like a religious person. This is called a Swadharma in Bhagavad Gita. Swadharma is time specific. Swadharma is contextual, context specific. So now I sum up. Time is an illusion from the metaphysical perspective. One should have this understanding that time is an illusion. That means time is eternity. We make it significant when we relate it to human life. This is first point. Second point is that if at all we have created time, we should take care of it. We should know how to manage it. Second. Third point is there is no retirement in life as we understand retirement from service. If at all there is retirement, we should understand that every moment is a moment of a retirement. If after service you think that you have retired, that means you have asakti for your service life. That means you are not ready to live the next life. We are very much interested to live in the next life after this life, but every moment is a next life. If we don't live the next life in this life, how can we aspire for the next life after death? Every moment is a next life. Service life is gone. Now I shall dedicate my life for social work. If I shall do that, then my mind will be stable and social work will be done by me, and I can spend my life. Nobody has seen tomorrow. So because we live in psychological time, we have our own psychological time, means our personal time. That does not, that is my personal problem. That is my personal timing. Suppose train time is at 7 p.m., but we shall reach at 7:05 or 7:10. That means we reach station according to our psychological time. We did not reach at station according to the time of the train. Similarly, we should respond the cosmic time with our psychological time. This needs spiritual sadhana. That is called pratyahara. Pratyahara, dharana and dhyana. Pratyahara. that we should know how to retire, how to withdraw from ourselves from the events. Then hold that withdrawn mind, that is dharana. Then concentrate that withdrawn mind in a particular, in your next action, that is dhyana. Live your life in this way, then you will be in a time with the consciousness of timelessness. Therefore, in the Bhagavad Gita, it is said, Jada Jadai Dharmasya Glani Bhavati. Jada Jadahi. What does mean Jada Jadahi? Jada Jadahi means whenever. That means whenever. When we say whenever, it is the total time. It is the universal time. It is timelessness. Whenever means it is universal. Whenever adharma will prevail, then the wicked person will be punished and the virtuous person will be whenever. Jada Jadai Dharmasya. That means time is eternal. Time is illusion so far as the eternal time is concerned. But that illusion has a meaning. That illusion is also significant because we human beings, we should manage time. So those who manage time, they look very young in old age. Those who don't know how to learn, how to manage time, they look very old in their, this is regarding health. So time management that is directly concerned with our health. Those who don't know how to manage time, they look very old in their young time. And that is the highest, the greatest crisis of human life. So enjoy your time. There is no gap. Gap means retirement. Life is a continuity. Your service is also an illusion. The age of retirement is an illusion. Nobody has seen tomorrow. So live in this present moment. Be present in the present and do your sadharma and be committed to the welfare of the society. This much. Thank you, madam. Perhaps I spoke more, but I added something as a token of a compliment. Thank you, madam. Really, we are all
Thank you, sir.
grateful to you. Thank you.
Dr. Pramod, sir,
It has been
may I
a
ask
Dr.
you?
Pramod. It has been a blessing to hear you. And I understood one of my drawbacks. I think when I was talking about philosophy, I didn't use the scientific terms of philosophy. So I'm learning from you. Thank you so much. And I come out very natural from my heart, whatever I feel. You gave me the occasion to talk about time management. And I will only pray that may we, the philosophy family members, may we all go on doing our detached karma at the lotus feet of the God. Amen.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Pramodji. You said that time is an illusion. Maybe it is an illusion in your perception. Why I'm saying is that in the empirical reality, I think time is mandatory. I think you are indirectly speaking about the Advaita philosophy of Maya. In the causal reality, there is no time and space. But time is more essential. Time is most significant right from our birth till our death. Time plays a crucial role. Therefore, I have the guts to say that I reject your your perception that time is an illusion. In this world, time is most important, and that is the reason why you have asked or requested Professor Dr. Roma Wani to discuss about the philosophy of time management. Your kind perception, please. Thank you, sir.
Yes, I shall respond to Dr. Srinivasan ji. Please don't reject anything because the theme of the entire talk of Roma Madam is to accept. What I said, you did not listen to me properly. I said very clearly, time is an illusion for those persons who have understanding of the metaphysics of time. Okay. Do you think your this calculation of time as years, months, it is done by God? It is done by animals. We human beings have created this calculation of time. First, there is a calculation of time, then comes its management. So, from the Vyavaharika Satta, from the tech, we should take care of it. Therefore, I told very clearly how retirement is also an illusion. Okay, so we should know the art of withdrawal. If we really understand time, then we should know how to withdraw from the events, how to involve in an action. That is the technique. Yoga karmesu kausalam. What you do is not important. The way you are doing it, according to time management, that is important. If a man of 60 years is raping a small child, what does it mean? It means that he is still dissatisfied. He has not retired from his grayastha vasana, grayastha attachment. So according to your age, you should have your detachment, sense of detachment. You means X. You belong to the time X, but you have the attachment of a time Y. This is mismanagement. So, from the nature and structure of your attachment, we can say in which time you live in. Suppose at the age of 80, somebody is behaving like a college boy with that emotion and that sensation, that attachment, then that man is not really grown up. He has grown up in body, in health, in years, but his psychic development is not there. There is no development there is no spiritual upliftment in him. So time is an illusion from the transcendental perspective, and everybody should know this. Everybody should have this wisdom. But when we are living, and that is the philosophy. Philosophy means to understand the transcendentality, the totality, the total aspect. Another aspect of time is our practical life. Okay, animals do their duties very meticulously than human beings. Plants do their duties. Duties means what they give us. Nature is behaving very beautifully. They don't have time consciousness, but they are very much active. We claim that we need time, but the contradiction is here. We claim that we need time, time is very significant, but we are upset, we are frustrated, we are complaining. This is the contradiction. Rather, we should live better than animals and plants, than nature, because we claim that we are human beings. So, understand timelessness, and from that understanding, you can have a better sense of time management. That means, if that you talked about Maya, that is Maya. That every moment I am doing my duties very meticulously, but at the end of my action, I know this is Maya. This is meaningless. It is very significant, but it is meaningless. I have to attend the next action. I have to live for tomorrow. The entire crisis is we hang over our past attachments. That is the crisis of a human life. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you very
Professor.
much. Thank you, sir.
Roma Madam, please speak something about this response.
Okay. As Professor Srinivasan, when we talk about illusion, there is no time. As I said, even while I was talking, that these measurements have come only because we are, as human beings, measuring it. But so time, space, these are things which otherwise could not be mentioned. But just to say why we are measuring is that, as St. Augustine clarifies in his Confessions, you know what he said? Um, he said time, if I'm, yes, I could put it like this, that time can be measured only where there is movement, you know. So he says, where there are creatures, there alone time can be measured, because he has earlier said, no, that I don't know time. If I have to explain it to, sorry, if somebody asketh me, then I cannot say what time is, right? So later on he clarifies, he says, but where there are creatures and they are moving and we gain the knowledge of these things, then time is measurable. So, you know, it's a different perspective, Professor Saab. Um, it's a different perspective. What we call illusion, as you said rightly, Maya, then the whole world is a Maya, everything is illusion. And yet, when we think in terms of, no, my body is, and believe there the soul within the body is, then we become creatures. We move, the soul moves through the body, then everything begins to be timed, because as St. Augustine says, where there are creatures and there is movement, then the knowledge of that particular movement, you know, is what measures time. I hope, you know, anyway, we are philosophizing. So it is philosophy, so many perspectives. And this is not the end of the world. And our knowledge, it's not the end of our knowledge, you know, through seeking, as the Lord has said, seek and it shall be given to you, isn't it? Knock and it shall be opened. Ask and you shall be given. Seek and you shall find. So we have to go on and on and on and on. And, um, you know, the way I say, I sometimes come across very beautiful sayings. And then I have got one other 4-word saying, this too shall pass. This too shall pass. So if we live in that attitude, you know, I think we can manage life very well. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Roma madam. Well, to this question, well, even the scientists do believe that we make a distinction between the past, present, and the future. But that is an illusion. That is an illusion actually. That distinction itself is an illusion. Even people like Einstein speak of this. So actually, because time is one, it is undivided. Even many of the physical equations are based on this principle that time is one, it is eternal, it is undivided. So it is for convenience we make a distinction, but that distinction itself is an illusion. So thank you, Dr. Srinivasan, Professor Pramod Das, sir, and Roma Wani madam. Thank you for a very good discussion, and thanks everybody for the discussion that we had. Let us move to, we should end up this question and answer session. Well, we should move to Dr. Maharana for proposing a formal vote of thanks. Over to Dr. Maharana. Thank you, Brahma madam, for very good responses. Thank you very much. Over to Dr. Maharana.
Okay, thanks. Okay, thanks so much, Dr. Rao, for giving me the opportunity of proposing vote of thanks. So today, really, we are blessed to listen the talk of Roma madam. A hearty gratitude to Roma madam for choosing and exploring on such a very beautiful topic. And today we have listened for interaction and responses from with the learning viewers, and they're very much inspiring. Really, our presence has inspired us and motivated us. Thanks to Professor Pramod sir to invite Madam Roman to our platform and connect all of us with her. And today we have also listened the observation made by Professor Pramod Madas. His observation is very very praiseworthy. And as he says that he has given the metaphysical and the practical aspects of time. At last, he said how good management of time is also spiritual sadhana. I don't want to mention, but illusion creates the time. So today we have listened the observations made by Professor Abhinav Srivastav, Professor Srinivasan, Professor D. Pramod, Professor Hamidullah, Professor Ranjit Ghosh, and Dr. Mir Naji, and all others. Today, their observation has inspired us, has given a new way of looking at the philosophy of time of management. They have said how to excel in life, good time management is necessary. And the philosophy of time management is a second order activity, and it is a rethinking the time, and it is a rethinking the priorities of life. And rethinking the priorities of life is very meaningful for all of us, because priorities do change with the mass of time, and time gives us opportunity for exploring our creativity and the joy of life. So time is time is a very great teacher, great healer also. And time management needs one attitude, needs one way of life, how he takes the life from his own angle, from the cosmic angle, and from a holistic angle. So today, the discussion, the observation, and comments made by all learned viewers really have made us very memorable. They have inspired us to think the time management in a new way. And today, Dr. Rao, by interacting with the learned viewers, has given his beautiful observation on time and time management and the philosophy of time management. So it helps us to rethink on time management, to rethink on the philosophy of the different dimensions of time. So thanks so much, Dr. Rao. Thanks so much, Professor Pramod Madas. And again, I extend my gratitude, not thanks, gratitude to Ruma Madam to be with us, because she has made this evening webinar very memorable and meaningful. Thanks to everybody. Over to Professor Pramod Madas to end the session.
Thank you,
Mahana,
madam. Yes, Dr. Rao.
Thank you, Dr. Mahana, for you two have spoken up a few words on the time management, and you also coordinated the event well. Thank you very much.
We are all grateful to Roma madam and all great people present here.
Blessing has been mine.
And others. So I shall request Roma madam to select the next topic very soon. You will be invited in the month of August or September. Thank you, madam.
I would connect with you on WhatsApp, and thank you. It has been a blessing. By you all asking me so many things, it has given me a fresh perception and a fresh time to relook at my own thoughts. So I think
I released one of your great saying that we should accept everything. We should accept the fact as it is, and that is the real sense of detachment.
Thank you.
Thank you, madam. With this meeting is declared closed. Thank you.
Pranam again to all.